shots for three, and that's good. Gain the zone. Shot, it's good! That's been all. Pulls up, knocks it down! Welcome to 2025 and welcome to the Luke Urban Fieldhouse Big Three Boys Hoops on tap on this Tuesday night. Hello again, everybody. I'm Evan Massoud, joined by Brendan Kelly. Happy New Year to you at home. Hope you had a wonderful holiday season. It's great to be back, Brendan, and I know for the boys, they're thrilled to be back because they haven't played in almost a week and a half.
Yeah, it's been a real weird schedule with a couple of cancellations and then with the Skip Karam tournament and the Christmas break. It'll be interesting to see how they bounce back. You know, they've been on a roll a little bit with three in a row, but a long layoff, we'll see how they make out.
You mentioned the Skip Karam tournament that's held here every year, of course, named after Durfee's former legendary coach, Thomas Skip Karam, and that's the holiday tournament that's here, and both the boys and the girls from the Hilltoppers won it this year.
Yeah, this has turned into one of the better Christmas tournaments in the area. You know, there's some longevity with it right now, and I think both boys and girls had great showings over there. It's, you know, it's a nice trophy to win.
And both Durfee teams knocking out Somerset, little extra adding to that rivalry as well. Always a sweet win. Now on the other side, Brockton coming in, they are 1-4, recently losing to Cambridge. Their schedule always a little tougher in terms of strength just because they got that foot in the door to the Boston area. So sometimes they get the upper hand in the Big Three.
I'll say this a bunch tonight. I don't care what the record is. Brockton is Brockton. Historical program, well coached. I don't care what their record is. This is going to be a big game for both teams.
Coach Joe DeCruz talking to me before the game and, you know, mentioning that layoff that they had. You know, you as a coach have experienced that before, not this early in the year, but still it's something you got to contend with. And Coach DeCruz hoping to ride that wave of momentum that you talked about. They have won three in a row, but a long break.
Yeah, he's going to have to rely on his veterans, you know, his juniors, his seniors, kids that have been here before. It's unideal, but it's happened before and it's going to happen again. So you can't use that as an excuse. They're going to have to come out and be ready to play.
Well, one thing's for sure with some of those cancellations that Brendan mentioned is the midway and later part of the season is definitely going to be crammed if we get any weather dates moving forward. So it's going to be a long grind to the finish to President's Day week. But hey, it's only the first week of January. We got some great action coming up this winter. And we got great action coming up tonight. Stick around. Live hoops right after the break.
Hi, my name is Stephanie MacArthur. I am the Director of Traffic and Parking. Implementing a parking ban is essential to ensure access for emergency vehicles and to allow snowplows to safely and effectively clear the roadways. Notification of a parking ban will be made as early as possible to ensure that the residents can relocate their vehicles if necessary. Generally, vehicles should be parked opposite side of the fire hydrant. Parking ban decisions are storm dependent. For information on where to park during a parking ban, especially when accumulating snow is expected, please visit our website at www.fallriverma.gov. In addition, during a parking ban, you may call my office at 508-324-2123 or the mayor's office at 508-324-2600. These lines will remain open throughout the duration of the parking ban. Thank you for your assistance and cooperation.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Luke Urban Fieldhouse. Evan Massoud and Brendan Kelly with you. Pre-game intros are done. JV came right down to the wire. Durfee boys with a nice comeback attempt, but fell 1 point short and lost at 51-50. So here we are now, varsity ready to get going. And Brendan, we expect this to be a good one tonight. Our first Big Three game of the year.
Yeah, first and foremost, it's the first Big Three game of the season, but I would say, looking at it from a basketball standpoint, this is an important game for both teams.
Oh yeah,
Brockton trying to kind of bounce back before things start getting, too fuzzy for them. Durfee, on the other end, 3 very quality wins coming into this. The last one a week ago. Unfortunately, we talked about that in the pregame. But this is an important game for both to start January off on the right foot.
And Durfee has not played since the Saturday before New Year's. That would have been, what, the 27th, I believe? Christmas was 28th, and Christmas was a Wednesday. So that's a good drought. That's about a week and a half. And you certainly can develop a little bit of rust. There's only so much you can do in a scrimmage, against your own team that it's not the same as a live game, of course.
Yeah, plus we had those 2 bizarre cancellations earlier in the year. You start looking around the calendar, looking at local teams. A lot of teams are 7-8 games deep, 1/3 of the way through their schedule. I mean, this is the quarter mark for us, so it's been done before. We're not using any of this as excuses and stuff like that. When it's Brockton, you got to be ready to play.
Yeah, but at the same time, right? I mean, each school had different choices to make. Not all schools stayed out for 2 full weeks like we did. Not all districts did that. At the same time, there was, whether they were out or not, there were teams playing last week. We chose not to. So, again, it's just about decisions and making the most of the situation that you're in. As we have our first foul of the night, it is against Durfee, and it is against Ben Sherry. Starting 5 for the Hilltoppers: number 1, Ben Sherry; number 3, Alvin Texera; number 5, Josh Stevenson; number 11, Matt Sherry; and number 23, Jaden Souza. At the line is Chris Africo, who misses the first. Brendan, you want to take the other starters?
We're doing a little different for 2025. I normally go the Hilltoppers. He's throwing the curveball at me. I like it. Chris Africo, number 1. Number 2, Cody Lambert. Number 5, Marcus Forts. Number 10, Nathan Curry, and number 22, Clarence Peltrop for the Boxers. Playing young, a couple sophomores, freshmen. Brockton, there's loads of talent in that city. They're playing young.
Good snag there. Durfee, when they get it back, hard to see with the getting screened by some of the heads here of our cheering section, but that's okay. Brockton gets it back. Go to the corner.
Durfee starting off in their zone.
3 is good, and the scoring has begun. Lambert puts up the long ball for the Boxers.
Yeah, as I said in the pregame, take the record, throw it out. I have so much respect for Brockton as a basketball community and a basketball school. And they're well coached. They'll turn things around, or at the very least, they're going to make things very tough on you. As Josh Stevenson gets the Hilltoppers on the board with a pull-up jumper, old school 15-footer.
Yeah.
Brockton not typically as big as they've been in the past. Sometimes my mind goes back to 2009, 2010, and years, not so long ago. Brockton's very big. Very, very equivalent matchups here for Durfee if they did decide to go man-to-man. Two quick fouls for Durfee.
Matt with this one. Long 3 is good. Another one from downtown for the Boxers here in the early going.
Yeah, Brockton coming out, shooting the ball well from outside to start the game. Some good ball pressure, too, in the backcourt, making Stevenson work hard.
That's
for
a great
really
take.
Good take to the rim, and 1.
That is such a tough shot.
Yeah, his first step is the best in the area. And we've talked about this, we've joked quite often. He's one of those players that seems like he's been here for a long time, and he's just getting better. He's somebody who works on their craft very much so, takes basketball very serious.
He's a junior. It's his 4th year as a starting varsity player. Already has surpassed the 1,000-point mark for his career between being a Conley Cougar and now a Durfee Hilltopper. And to your point, yes, it's like I've said it before too. It's like Nilan Nera. Nilan played his 8th grade as well before coming over here, and it seemed like he was playing high school hoops forever, you know, because he had 5 years playing. So similar situation with Jai. Misses the end one at 6-4.
Yeah, we've talked about this off. There's actually a long lineage dating back to the 70s of, you know, players that played a year or two at Bishop Connolly and then came over and finished great careers at Durfee. The origin of it is when Durfee was just a 10 through 12 school.
Right.
Guys that were good enough to play high school varsity basketball would go and play as freshmen at Bishop Connolly. You know, in the 70s, obviously things have changed, but you know, Ja, he's done a really good job, and he's a hilltopper.
Oh yeah, he's tremendous athlete. Had such a great year last year, his first year, and really need to step up this year with so many guys graduating, and he has done that through 4 games so far.
Yeah, to establish himself in an early game right now, he's established him as a threat. There's no doubt in my mind. He's the #1 guy on Brockton's pregame board, and he's come down, put the ball in the basket, 6 points already.
Jarred loose there by Souza. Good defense now. It's Sherry. Matt, that is, taking it out. Gets it to Ben. That tandem was deadly during the football season. They connected on Thanksgiving as part of the win. And now playing hoops together.
And they'll be in the outfield in the spring.
That's right.
What's cool about that is obviously playing with your brother.
Yeah.
What's even more cool in the day and age of specialization, there ain't many like them anymore. Football, basketball, baseball, and get to share that. I'm sure it's fantastic for their parents. I mean, they're great kids, and it's neat that they're playing different roles on the basketball floor. I mean, the quarterback wide receiver combination in the fall, 2 outfield positions in the baseball. It's you know, it's great to share it in the basketball. And Ben put up quite, you know, very good stats in football. Matthew, obviously, co-MVP, the big 3. They're playing different roles basketball. Ben doesn't come out of the game.
No.
You know,
I mean, you know, with Ben being a senior, this is their last, you know, hurrah playing, you know, siblings in high school. So to your point, the football, basketball, baseball athlete is pretty awesome. Good kick outside. Oh, that was close to steps. Almost lost the ball too. I think the loss of possession saved them from a travel right there. Good rebound, tough shot, and a foul coming. It'll be Durfee's 3rd.
Yeah, Durfee's established himself playing zone right now, but they're going to have to block out of the zone. A lot of the problems sometimes with the zone is stand and watch. You have to go stand and find, and it's not as easy as sometimes when you're guarding a one-on-one. So Durfee's going to have to make sure that, you know, they go and block out, the shot goes up.
That's going to be a foul on Alvin Texera. So the good news, Durfee spreading out the fouls early. You know, team-wise, 3 fouls, but only 1 for each of the 3 guys, so nobody individually getting into trouble as Whelan misses the first.
Yeah, from a rebounding standpoint, Durfee, there's no excuse. There's no 7-footer. There's no 6'7". Durfee's going to do a good job finding body and old school, just going and getting it after the block out.
The 3 from Matt is no good. Whelan 1 for 2 at the free throw line to make it 9-6.
The pace of play has been good, but neither team is filling it up. Stevenson,
nice steal, hands. 1-on-1, and gets his own rebound back, spin move, and drops it in.
He creates so much space with his dribble on the floor. I mean, he got the length of the floor in 2 dribbles. Just a great first step, and then a hustle play after, you know, sometimes you just miss shots. Durfee not blocking out, allowing the second opportunities for Brockton. Another, you know, challenging part of this, long shots, long rebounds. You have a tendency, ball goes up, you chase the ball to the rim, you got to go find a body. Brockton ball pressure is not overly tough.
Well, I mean, how many times have we said in a broadcast, Hilltoppers got to establish the lane? And it's great to see that here in the early goings. Stevenson has done that.
Yeah, they're laying off guys. He's so quick first step. It's tough to contain and keep out for a long time, especially with the dribble drive offense that every basketball team in the country runs now. But it's not overly tight in the airspace. A lot of standing around from Durfee right now. This almost looks like a zone. Late call.
Oh, Durfee got bailed out there a little bit because that was a steal going the other way.
It'd be great to see Alvin Tesseri get going. Watch it. This is my first live game with the boys, just because of the the uniqueness of vacation and the bizarre cancellations. Watch games on the stream and replays. I am very impressed. Another great athlete, three-sport athlete. He's had an incredible start to the season, Alvin, especially in that first round of the Skip Karam tournament. 29 points. That's a lot of points to be putting up a high school student.
And he had a great year, for football. I know earlier in the year we were talking about on some of those broadcasts that, from some of the ball possession, he was struggling with that, and he really got so much stronger and mature as the year went on for football. He really became a dependable guy for Taylor Brown, and I know Coach is excited to have him back next year as well. Great steal down the court, no good, unfortunately for Harris, but a great defensive play nonetheless.
Yeah, he's done another guy who I've been impressed with the minutes he's played off the bench. His first year on the varsity, not scoring the ball a ton, but contributing in a lot of different ways. Deflection, gave himself a good opportunity. Another one I thought played really well in the Skip Karam tournament and played some extended minutes in both games.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, we talk about that in the opening as well. It's great to win the Skip Karam tournament. You're the host school. But when you get to beat your rivals from across the river there, Somerset, it's not New Bedford, no, but there's a lot of gamesmanship with neighboring communities like that.
Yeah, I said it on the pregame. I thought, think that the Skip Karam tournament has turned into one of the better Christmas tournaments in the area. You see a lot of them pop up. There's some longevity there. This is over a 10-year tournament.
Can I have your attention, please?
And they've done a nice job, Durfee, hosting.
License plate CS 7058. License plate 945S27Z7.
Ev, since we usually go kind of a Manning cast type of vibe here, what's the protocol here? Do we speak over the loudspeaker or?
Well, in this case, we're just making sure that there's nothing. There's some issues with parking, so there's as we know, the access roads here are not super wide, and if there's parallel parking along them, then the buses can't always get through, and so Athletic Director Buston having to make the announcement that a few vehicles need to be moved ASAP. But, hey, Brendan, after 8 minutes, low scoring, a little lower scoring than I would have thought, 11-9 after 1.
Yeah, quick first quarter. I mean, that passes the, Evan Massoud pace of play. But, yeah, both teams kind of feeling each other out right now. Brockton not a ton of airspace pressure defense right now in that first quarter. Mm-hmm. They recognize Durfee's quickness and Durfee's ability to get to the basket, so they're adjusting accordingly. Durfee's sitting in their zone right now. Both teams kind of feeling each other out in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing is Brockton got on the board early because it was 2 threes, then only managed 5 points the final 6 to 7 minutes. Durfee on the other side, it was Stevenson really getting it done. He had 8 of the 9 points. So, he's the threat, and now you're going to look into this quarter. Coach DeBarros on the other side is going to say, hey, you can't let Stevenson beat you. So Durfee's got to find someone else to get some points and take that target off of Jaw's back.
Yeah, I would look at it from another standpoint, too. When you're the leading scorer and you're expected to be the leading scorer, that's tough to do on every single night.
Yeah.
And to establish it right away is a good thing for Durfee. You know, and they're role players, they're spot-up shooters. You know, they're going to get plenty of opportunities. He's drawing so much attention. There's going to be open lanes, open opportunities.
Gets that feed, getting it off to Ben Sherry. Corner three will go in and out. And what a great putback from Vladzin Lopes Pereira.
Yeah,
Vladson, excuse me.
Yeah, as we speak, draws in, gets right into the painted area, kicked a wide open corner three, good shot. No block out from Brockton. Pereira goes right in, swoops in for two. Durfee again not blocking out.
Whelan getting that layup on the quick transition the other way. Now Stevenson driving the lane back out to Ben. Going to give him another chance. That one hard off the back of the iron. A little bit off to the left and no good. He's had some good looks, just a little off target.
Yeah, this is what the offense draws up, all right? It's exactly what's supposed to happen. You draw three guys in, open looks.
That looked like
fall.
a good block. That looked like a clean block from Whelan. Oh, it's actually Africo, but I thought it was all ball that time, I'll be honest with you. But nonetheless, I like the inbound play there, though. You got right into the guy underneath, Sherry. He eats the foul. It's just patience. Wait and take the foul.
And sometimes as a shooter, no better way to get yourself going after a couple misses from the outside, get a nice close one or get a freebie from the free throw line. So this is a good psyche for Ben.
2 for 2 at the line.
Locked up at 13.
Small sample size, but Durfee 3 for 5 from free throw territory. Another great pass, and Whelan once again waiting down low, kissing it off the backboard.
Yeah, I feel like I keep saying it. Pace of play is very much different than what we're used to seeing from Brockton. Brockton just in a half-court defense. Now totally establishing himself, trying to pack line the painted area, get rid of that drive. They're going to force Durfee to beat him from three.
No, Durfee didn't like it, but steps there for Stevenson. It's a good call. Coach DeCruz sporting the red Durfee apparel today. We usually see him in a black three-quarter zip. I said, look at you sporting the red. New year, new Joe.
You know how I am on my routine.
I know, that's what I'm saying here. So, tipped, and it'll go.
Incredible tip in.
Wow. Springboarding down on the paint.
Big-time players play in big-time games right now, and Stevenson's really established himself this first half.
How about Matt Sherry right there, too, to keep that in. Now, that's a foul. That was a dual possession last week in the game I did in Dartmouth. Shall we start? Shall we start? I'm looking back, the grin you're giving me. Because we talked about this while we were off the air, and I'm bringing it up now because, yes, there was a reach over. Okay, so that's fine. But I'm not kidding. That was called a jump ball in the Dartmouth game. Stevenson on the steal from Sherry and a timeout.
Durfee defended that very well.
Yeah.
I say it all the time. I love the offensive aspect of out-of-bounds plays, side-out plays, and defending it too. You break those into little mini pieces right there, and you get stops and turn them into layups or turn them into offensive possessions. It makes a big difference. It's not necessarily analytics, but you break down different pieces of the game. That was a really, really good defensive effort. Durfee layup forced Brockton into a timeout.
So the Hilltoppers, this is their second lead. I think they had taken the lead at one point, and then it was retied again. But Durfee looking good here. A couple good defensive plays. Stevenson once again getting some big shots from down in the paint. He's up to 12 points.
Yeah, and again, he's carrying a lot of the offensive load. I think that's good news for him, obviously getting things going, but it's going to be good news. Guys are going to find themselves open. Shoot the ball with confidence. Shoot expecting to make. Things will stop falling.
Timeout came after Durfee's basket, so Brockton inbounding from the baseline to restart us here. 5.5 to go in the first half.
I like this 2-2-1 coming out of the timeout, just switching it up a little bit, forcing Brockton to think.
Whelan goes for, I think that would have been 2. It looked like his foot was on the line. It's a miss anyway. Good feed to Matt Sherry, and that will be no good. I did it again. Excuse me. That was Jaden Souza. My bad. Sorry, Jaden. That's going to go.
Well, two baseball players, you're going to be saying their name a lot in the fall, spring as well.
I know.
Pereira with some good minutes off the bench, a good strong take. Shot on the layup.
Oh, into the crowd. Souvenir City. See, you didn't take. You mentioned baseball, and there's a reference. Souvenir City. That's a baseball term for home runs and stuff, and foul balls.
Brockton up in the pressure a tad bit. Forcing Durfee just to think a little bit, getting the ball in the bounds still.
Don't want to get too far ahead, obviously. It's still winter, but our baseball team had such a great year last year, and I'm looking forward to spring this year as well, and hopefully another good run as Stevenson puts another tough one up. There was a lot of contact there, but not enough apparently for a foul that time.
Yeah, baseball was phenomenal last spring. I mean, it ended up being state news, all the one-run games and the come-from-behind games.
And Zavarian, the loss, I mean, you went toe-to-toe with I think they were the number 3 team in the state.
Yeah, that was baseball at its best.
Yeah.
I mean, it was clean, smooth, timely hitting. Nobody.
You dethroned Taunton.
Nobody making errors, and then obviously the Taunton games.
We were there for that. That was incredible.
One of the better Durfee events. I've been watching Durfee sports my entire life.
Yeah.
That was one of the better performances I can remember in a long time. I mean, that goes up there and stuff that I see. So expectations are high. There's a lot of returners. They play hard. Mike does a great job, and the coaching staff's fantastic. Talk about keeping things in the family. I mean, it's an all Durfee staff.
Oh yeah.
And I think that stuff matters, and the kids see that. So you're right. We're only the 7th day of January, but there's a lot of excitement.
Sherry. Oh, in and out for Matt.
Yeah, tie game going into the 4-minute mark, and Durfee has not shot the ball well at all.
And lucky to keep possession here, as that was batted down. Well, Brockton not good at the line that last trip, 0 for 2. Hey, Stevenson going to pull up for 3. No good. And, oh, boy, almost lost it there. Was Jaden Holmes-Fox now open in the far corner. That's no good. The rebound going to Forts. Now Africo back out to Holmes-Fox. And out of bounds off of Brockton.
Yeah, now the play is picked up a little bit. It's a little more helter-skelter right now. Neither team's shooting the ball well. Now you can see each team when they're shooting, there's a little extra thought when it's releasing right now.
Brockton using another timeout here. Their second.
Yeah, both teams, we're getting pretty close to close out quarter time, close out the halftime. So you want to, neither team shooting well, but still a 17-17 ball game. You want to go into the half, in positive right now, and you don't want any foolish possessions to stack up, and then you find yourself in a tie game, and then down 6, down 10, where if you just kind of slow things down and manage it. So I think where Manny's thought process is right now, settle in a little bit, see if we can slow the possessions down, individualize them a little bit, go into half feeling good about ourselves on the road.
Yeah, I mean, Brockton has, we're talking about their schedule, and they've lost 4 in a row. They won their opening night game 67-44. That was against North High. And then they lost to Brookline 70-49, Quincy 59-52, Franklin, we know Franklin, 62-40, and then Cambridge, Ringe and Latin School 69-66. So that was their last one. That was really tight game and tough one. Coach really wanted that one. He mentioned that to me when we were talking pregame. That's one that he wishes that they had taken their last game.
Yeah, that Sonic schedule's no joke. I mean,
No.
Cambridge historically is fantastic. Durfee's first 3 with the corner.
Stevenson from distance.
Franklin year in and year out. And their win snapped Worcester North's 46-game winning streak. Worcester North Division I back-to-back state championships. They look a lot different.
Yeah.
And I know this is, I follow the scene a lot, state of Massachusetts, but fantastic opening night win. 46 in a row for Worcester North. Brockton broke that. So you look at some of their scores.
Wow.
Brockton's hanging around right now. Thus, I say at the beginning of the program,
Yeah.
this is a big game for them right here. This could jumpstart their season, and Durfee's got to realize that and understand that.
There was a foul there on the other end of the court. That was on Clervin's Peltrop. So that was why we had the pause before Durfee take it in. Going back to Ben Sherry. Doesn't have it yet.
Durfee would start off with that nice little double stack set. The dribble drive is more of a read and react, and it's a lot of dribbling if you don't know what you're looking for, if you're on this side of the bench.
Yeah.
But Durfee runs a nice little set play, got themselves a layup. It was like, oh, a nice little set.
Yeah.
Threw me off guard.
They go to the right corner. It's no good. They had Lambert clapping in this corner. He had a 3 to open the game. And another foul. Brockton's 4th coming here. We'll put Souza. I got it right. Souza at the line for 2.
Brockton did a good job closing out. Souza's another one. Start of the season, more of an increased role on the basketball floor. He's strung together some really nice games. He's got a nice stroke, left-handed. It looks pretty. Obviously, on their scout, they don't want to get him going. So good closeout by Brockton. And if you're noticing, after that first attack, for any of the Durfee players, Brockton is sliding down. They're sending 2, 3 guys to protect that hoop. It's just not the 6'7", 6'8" it's been in the past.
Souza gets his 2nd shot, a 1-for-2 trip.
Now we're in closeout time for the half. This is an important 2 minutes for Durfee right now. See if they can extend this 4-point lead.
Ooh, did he call it? They did. He was just on the line, but the line is back, right?
Yeah, it's great pressure by Jaden Cabral coming in right now. Coach DeCruz trusted him to play some minutes to close it out. What a lot of these guys got to understand, you can help out in a game, you can contribute to a game significantly. It doesn't always have to be putting the ball in the basket. There's a lot of different things. Jaden Cabral right there turns him, gets a big turnover for Durfee, have an opportunity to go up 6, maybe 7.
The officials timeout here, sorting something through at the table. Went to Durfee's official book, and now to Brockton's official book, back to Durfee's.
I've been where Coach DeBarros' situation many a time. The books don't line up, human error.
Well, the question is, this comes here as, Coach DeBarro's not happy. This comes as a, did they just put up a technical foul? I thought I saw.
Yeah, referee Ryan Anderson made motion that is a technical, and yep, so if I had to guess right now, what's looking is there's potential numbers not matching up. I'm not sure. Not a lot of pushback from the Brockton bench. So
that's the 5th foul for Brockton. It's a technical, and Stevenson at the line.
That costly error for Brockton. A couple freebies here for Durfee. And 2 big free throws for Josh Stevenson right here. That pushes it up to 6 now.
And they get the ball now.
Now they get the ball at the half-court mark with opportunity, with a good offensive possession. Bring it up to 8, 9. Now it's a big difference.
Yeah, Durfee up by 6. That's the largest margin for either side so far. And you're right. This could be an 8 to 9 point lead if Durfee can hit one here. Matt Sherry, no good. It's short, and the rebound goes to Brockton.
Good patience by Durfee right there. They different look offensively. I like it when, and I'm a dribble drive guy. I like the offense. It's what the game of basketball has at a lot of levels. I think it's important to show different looks, different formations, switch it up from time to time. You're still going to get your attack. Durfee can get that whenever they want.
Yeah.
So that's a good call by Coach DeCruz to switch the look up, get a good opportunity. Just going to make shots now.
Ben Cherry getting hit with the foul, his second, Durfee's third, and that one will bounce twice and no good for number 34, who is not on our roster. That could be the problem.
Yep, that's
most likely the problem, because we don't know who 34 is for Brockton. We'll figure that out at the half. Good rebound from Ben. Yeah, we got to check that out at halftime. Take a walk down to the table. Nice block from behind by O'Keefe.
And we look like we got another technical foul right now. Now with a little more protest from the Brockton bench is exactly what's called. It looks like it said something. It was a very quick whistle.
Yeah. Wow. O'Keefe didn't like the call.
Now,
is my guess.
A little contrary to where I was a year ago.
Yeah.
Where, and I'm a big believer in emotion plays a big role in these high school games, and I don't think there's anything wrong with it. There's nothing better than a jacked up high school crowd, local games. There's obviously a big 3-game historical rival, all of that stuff. This year, you're seeing referees really hit that whistle really quick, and contrary to what I've said in the past, I don't hate it. I think we gotta yank it back a tad with some of the chirping and stuff like that.
So there's decorum, but at the same time too, I mean, if a player's upset at a call, but he doesn't run over to the official and say, "What are you doing?" or something in choice words. If it's just a frustration thing that's not aimed at anybody, which, I mean, we don't know what was allegedly said, but if that's the case, I think that's a little sensitive.
Yeah, that one wasn't by the towards the referee. I think that was a little big 3 friendly chirping.
That's what I mean.
Chirping.
Shorter clock here from the technical, only 25 seconds, doesn't matter. Under a minute here, Durfee really not able to take advantage of these technicals as Whelan puts in one off the glass. 2 missed free throws from Stevenson, and on both possessions after, no points. So really, Brockton made out okay when you think about it.
Yeah, I mean, Durfee, good offensive possessions. They're just not coming away with anything from it.
Right, and it's keeping Brockton in this game. Only a 4-point game now. And that's thrown away by Jaden Cabral. Africo has made it a 2-point game. Talk about closeout minutes. Brockton not afraid of the technicals. Stevenson, a little push-off offensive. He's going to get the call, though. It's going to go against Brockton, and he'll go back to the line. Kind of stiff-armed him, a little bit of a football play there, like hands to the face almost.
Yeah, Stevenson's carried the load offensively for Durfee in a very low-scoring game, 23-21 halftime score.
He's got 17 points and looking to add, and that's just the first. So 17 out of 23 points. Hello. Talk about carrying it, make it 18. Aside from Vladson, who got a basket earlier this quarter, Stevenson is the only Durfee player with anything from the field. That's kind of a problem, too. Let's be honest.
It's fantastic, and you can hang around for a quarter, and obviously Durfee's doing this right now for a half. Great slip.
Get that rebound. Hilltoppers secure it, but 1 second, and that's going to be the half.
Nice little set play off of the free throw by Brockton. It's good, for Durfee having a really good first half. It can hang for a quarter or a half, but that's a lot to ask him to do for an entire game. Durfee's getting good shots. They need to see one fall, start shooting with a little bit more confidence.
Well, let's see who can step up if you're the Hilltoppers. Plenty of guys on this roster get some points. And we know Coach DeBarros is going to say, hey, Stevenson's killing us. So if they go and double team them now the rest of the way, someone's going to answer the bell. That's the bottom line. But we got a good one brewing here. Our first game back here in the new year. We hope you're enjoying it as well. 10-minute halftime. We'll see you on the other side for the third quarter.
St. Anne's Shrine is an anchor building to Fall River.
Many worshipers have claimed that this landmark is the site of miraculous healings.
Construction began in 1891. The Romanesque revival style is unprecedented, and the 160-foot steeples are visible from all directions. The congregation was established generations ago when builders mined world-renowned Fall River granite located at the base and utilized Vermont blue marble for the upper exterior walls.
"40 years ago, the shrine was added to the National Register of Historic Places. Despite some disrepair, this is a working building, open for prayer and reflection. In addition, a Christian lay organization distributes food from here on Saturdays."
Amazingly, 3 priests are entombed below. Volunteers with St. Anne's Shrine Preservation Society expect this house of worship will again welcome pilgrims from near and far, as well as historians, architects, and school children.
11 years ago, voters approved a 1.5% property surcharge to fund the Community Preservation Act. Over $150,000 was awarded for repairs on the southern side of the building. Craftsmen are entrusted to restore the slate roof tiles, copper gutters, and downspouts. Phase 2 entails duplicate copper and slate work, as well as repointing of mortar joints. These efforts will permit the upper church to reopen for the public.
CPA funds have supported thousands of significant projects in Massachusetts. Thank you for your continued interest in community beautification and betterment.
They hand it off back to Romero. Romero forges ahead. Touchdown, Hilltoppers.
Coming in, you're really scared, you might be a little nervous, but I think being a part of a team gives you friends who can come with you all the way through high school, and then coaches looking out for you. I think as an athlete, you can improve and learn the art of dedication.
That shot taken. Cadet will take the shot and score.
Hard work pays off. For my freshman year, starting off hardly knowing anything about sports to now my junior year, having almost all the school records in track and field. I feel like this school shows a lot of opportunities in classrooms and out of classrooms.
1, 2, 3, Durfee!
High flip to Espinal. Open 3. Got it! Big time hit from Granham.
Durfee has such a great community, such great pride. We're people who love to be here, we love to compete, we love to play, and it's such a great opportunity.
Corralled by Camara, full steam ahead. Weaving through traffic, takes the shot, and it's good! Camara, coast to coast!
I've made a lot of great friends playing sports. I really appreciate how it fosters a community amongst all of the athletes, even in between sports seasons.
Good pass up the field, gets some good backspin on it, and it is a loose ball! Shot, and it's good! To tie it, it's good! Medeiros on the PK!
You have a lot of support and a lot of people around you. It's a good environment, especially the sports teams.
Great. O'Connell with the 3, and the lead is over 30.
I know how much pride it takes to be a topper, so it made me work harder so I can be more successful.
It's really great to just be able to learn accountability, reliability, just getting involved in school, and I feel like the best way to do that is to join a sport.
In the air in a deep left field. Coppola heading back at the wall. It's gone! 3-run home run for Montilla, and it's a 2-run game.
St. Anne's Shrine is an anchor building to Fall River.
Many worshipers have claimed that this landmark is the site of miraculous healings.
Construction began in 1891. The Romanesque revival style is unprecedented, and the 160-foot steeples are visible from all directions. The congregation was established generations ago when builders mined world-renowned Fall River granite located at the base and utilized Vermont blue marble for the upper exterior walls.
"40 years ago, the shrine was added to the National Register of Historic Places. Despite some disrepair, this is a working building, open for prayer and reflection. In addition, a Christian lay organization distributes food from here on Saturdays."
Amazingly, 3 priests are entombed below. Volunteers with St. Anne's Shrine Preservation Society expect this house of worship will again welcome pilgrims from near and far, as well as historians, architects, and school children.
11 years ago, voters approved a 1.5% property surcharge to fund the Community Preservation Act. Over $150,000 was awarded for repairs on the southern side of the building. Craftsmen are entrusted to restore the slate roof tiles, copper gutters, and downspouts. Phase 2 entails duplicate copper and slate work, as well as repointing of mortar joints. These efforts will permit the upper church to reopen for the public.
CPA funds have supported thousands of significant projects in Massachusetts. Thank you for your continued interest in community beautification and betterment.
The Gothic Revival-style arch at Oak Grove Cemetery signals the final resting place of some of Fall River's most prominent residents.
Since 1873, thousands of funeral processions have passed through these ornate iron gates. War heroes, abolitionists, mill owners, and Lizzie Borden are buried within these walls.
Despite fine craftsmanship and historical recognition, the arch was unable to withstand time and the elements, and was in danger of collapse.
10 years ago, Fall River residents voted to adopt the Community Preservation Act, which allows for a 1.5% surcharge on property tax bills. This cherished landmark was saved with funds through the Community Preservation Act.
In just 5 months, this time using some modern machinery, local contractors refurbished the granite arch and replaced sections of the gate.
A uniquely Fall River work of art and a respectful reflection for the dead has been saved for future generations.
CPA funds have supported thousands of significant projects in Massachusetts. Thank you for your continued interest in community beautification and betterment.
You wouldn't be on your phone here. You shouldn't use it here.
Go, 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 go. Where are they? Where are they? Get off your phone! We lost again because of you.
You wouldn't be on your phone here. You shouldn't use it here. You wouldn't be on your phone here. You shouldn't use it here. Don't let your intelligence be artificial.
Get your info from a real person and not a news feed. Show up, FRPS, and lock it away for new beginnings.
Here we go. Welcome back, everybody, to the Field House. Evan Massoud and Brendan Kelly with you as we are done with our halftime break, and we're ready to get back at it. Durfee with the 4-point advantage, and they will have the ball, and it has really been the Josh Stevenson show. 19 points for him, 25 for the Hilltoppers. That tells the story. So the bottom line here is, as we see Alvin Texera is back into the game now, which is good. Need to get some other guys shooting the ball and making some baskets. We saw both Sherry brothers put up some shots, and they looked good leaving the hand, then just a little off the mark. We saw a lot of that in the first half. Just can't get them to fall. And my concern, I said it before we went to the break, is that, if Brockton comes out now and has made adjustments on how to contain Stevenson, someone's got to step up.
Well, there's two ways of looking at it if you're at Brockton. One is Stevenson's killing us. Yeah. All right, that's one way of looking at it. He's got 19 out of the 25 points. He's the top guy on the scout sheet. You look at it that way. You could also look at it the other way is, okay, he's a great player. He's going to get his. Go ahead. Get yours. We're going to make it as difficult as possible, but we're going to contain these other guys. So depending on what way they're looking at it, what way they're defending it,
that is a good way to look at it. Yeah, force him to do the job. And this way you're taking everybody else out of the equation.
As coaches, I say it to my teams now, and I've really believed in this for a while now, but I make sure I stress it. The saying you're going to stop somebody's best player is ridiculous. You don't stop LeBron James. You don't stop Michael Jordan. Whatever. I'm using obviously the highest. But
that's a
examples.
good way. No, it's a good point.
You don't stop somebody's best player because they're a best player for a reason. What you do is you try to make it as difficult as possible, disrupt it as much as possible, and kind of go from there. So right now, Brockton's not stopping Josh Stevenson. He's getting everything he wants right now. He's playing fantastic. But what they are doing is they are stopping the other players.
Yeah. So that's a win, really. You're stopping 4 out of 5. That's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, really. It's a good math problem.
Before we, as you would say, right, gym teacher math, is that?
Yeah.
You've said that many times. Get a good laugh out of that. An air ball missing there from Texera. Before we go any further, we found the technical foul with the book was number 34. You were right. Not on our roster and not in the official book. Gabe Vieira was not in the book, so that's a tech. That resulted in the 2 points, 2 free throws for Stevenson. That was the first technical for Brockton. The other thing, I've had my notebook out since the start and never even mentioned it in the first half, so I apologize. I wanted to start off with this. We had Big 3 swim meet today as well. Brockton here for swim. Durfee boys won, Durfee girls won, so that's great. You'll be able to see that airing later this week on Fred. That was a recorded program. Texera with the steal will take it and drop it in. And that'll draw a whistle, so we'll get a little more time to chat here. Rachel Silva, state champion, has some school records. Well, she just broke her own record today in dive. She's a tremendous athlete, and swim and dive has been her bread and butter, let me tell you. Broke her own record from 2023, a score of 270.05. Today, 274.35. She went up almost 4.5 points. So tremendous, really great stuff. Congratulations to Rachel, continuing to really shine in the Jarabic pool house.
Yeah, great athlete, like you said. Another old school 3-sport athlete.
Soccer, swim and dive, softball.
Yep, and Chris Policino does a great job in that pool. Those kids work really, really hard for them. And specifically the diving aspect of it. Rachel's been the headliner for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And to continue to get better as a senior, that just shows what type of athlete she is, what type of work is. You win a state championship as a sophomore, you know, it's almost, well, where do you go from there? And
it's true.
As an
Such
athlete,
an accomplishment.
she's continued to push herself, and, you know, great accomplishment. You know, coming back from break, that's fantastic news for the swim and dive program.
Durfee has come out and outscored Brockton 6-2 in the first 2.5 minutes, and after the timeout from Brockton, they just turned the ball over. So Durfee getting it back again, looking for more points, a chance to make it a 10-point and 11-point game. No, the miss on the long three for Stevenson.
Yeah, prior to that long three, Durfee got a couple nice easy ones, a nice kind of traditional old school attack the basket from Matt Sherry, and then Alvin Teixeira, what I think his best attribute is deflection on the defensive end, getting open transition layups.
Sarah thought about the three. Stevenson somehow got out of that traffic jam. Now a pull-up jumper at the free throw line, no good. Or a little further from the free throw line, I should say.
Yeah, Teixeira, he was, guess the seatbelt rule in the first half. 2 fouls, didn't play a lot. You and I looked at each other at halftime. I was like, you know, Alvin didn't play a lot, or wasn't much in the flow.
I didn't realize it until you said it. I said, you're right. He hasn't been out there.
Much more engaged to start the third quarter, second half.
And Durfee will get their second foul, and it's going to put Peltrop at the line for the first time tonight. Matt Sherry picking up his second. So Durfee has 4 players with fouls, all 4 with 2 apiece. That's Ben Sherry, Teixeira, Matt Sherry now with the 2, and Jaden Souza with 2.
Durfee came out of halftime well. You know, at the high school level, you don't want to get overexcited. A couple good offensive possessions. You get that on the Brockton end, bad turnover. Stay settled, stay even keel. We don't want to get too high, too low.
That's 4 straight misses at the free throw line. 6 straight, if you include the second quarter, misses at the line, and that's the difference in the lead right now.
Great save by Teixeira. I always don't.
Souza, quick release 3.
And here you are right now. You see that first one from Matt Sherry fall. Now the rest of the guys shooting a little bit more confidence. That's a tough one.
Tough.
And again,
I know.
That's what he's best at.
Yeah.
And then here, if I'm Coach DeCruz,
leave him in.
It's easy sitting on this side these days. He's a junior. He's been playing a lot of varsity athletics. You have to trust him. And on that same sense right now, Alvin, you got to be smart enough not to get foolish ones, which I don't like what he's doing, dancing at the elbow right there.
If you pick up your 4th in the next 60 seconds, then you got to sit.
For no reason. It's a decoy elbow right there. There's nothing you need to do.
Just play it smart, finish off the quarter with 3, and then, go for broke in the 4th.
Yeah, Brockton's giving Durfee a lot of airtime right now. These football guys can go and pick one off.
That's no good. Nice rebound from Peltrop, and he gets the deuce.
Durfee, nice rebound, you say. 4 white jerseys chased the ball while it was in the air under the basket. So, I mean, it really just bounced out to him. Durfee's got to go, and when the ball's up, they have to spread out to the line. Nice
We gotta box out better though down low.
We can't chase the ball in the air to the basket. That's what they're doing.
And that's, if we're gonna really be critical, I think that's one of the few things that they haven't done too well tonight is they get down low. Look, there's nobody down. It's an and one. That's a big basket, but there's no one there to help Alvin in that instance. You're lucky you got the foul as well, but if that missed, there were no white jerseys anywhere in the paint. So that's something I could say and be critical about.
Yeah, the defensive end, it's tough. Zones are great. I love zone defense. I love him. You really have to practice rebounding out of a zone because it's one thing to go find a man, but it's not as easy as, just block out the person in front of you. You really got to practice it. And, the natural reaction, like I said, when the ball's in the air, you kind of chase it to the rim. It's going to be the opposite way. But Durfee makes up a lot because athletically, they're good jumpers. A lot of airtime. There's that interception from a baseball player.
Stevenson going to kick it out here to Matt Sherry. Now all the way across, almost picked off. Ben has been wanting it all night, and he knocks it down.
Good for Ben Sherry, not only for making it right here, but he's continued confidence. Those are good shots. The ones he missed were good shots. You got to keep taking them.
11-point game, and it's a timeout.
Yeah, I said it before. Brockton, it was only a matter of time. There's a lot of air in those passes. These athletes, long arms, good anticipation skills, paid off with Jaden Souza. You get the 3 ball on the other end. This is definitely the Evan Massud pace of play right here. We're in closeout time again. Here we go, the third quarter. Important for Durfee. 13, 14, 15 is a lot different than 11, 9, 7. So
totally.
You know, you got an important 2 minutes, 37 seconds.
Big 2 minutes and 37. And it's funny, you mentioned the pace of play. Well, you know, we started a half hour late. Game is supposed to be 6:30 tonight. That's when the games are scheduled. But JV started quite a bit late, and there was a lot. That fourth quarter was very long, as you would expect with, 1 to 2 point game back and forth. So long night, but hey, if you come out with a win, we don't care about the time. It's fun to be here no matter what.
Well, it's always great to see JV coaches coaching their behinds off.
Oh, yeah.
Using their
and they
timeouts.
were.
And Corey, not only he's past being a rising star in the coaching. He's been around 10 years, 3 sports, so he's not rising star anymore. He's just a star. And in his first year as Coach DeCruz, JV coach, really nice job. And then we've talked about this in years past. It's so cool to see Coach Bowen on the sideline.
I know.
And, I have so many memories of, me being the JV or sub-varsity coach, and Coach Bowen's teams were, just nightmarish to play against.
Well, I just got to see him at halftime when I went to the table, and he was standing there, and he looked up, he saw me, and, "Oh, good, sir. How are you?" I said, "I was just going to say the same." He said, "Great to see you back here." I said, "Good to see you too, Coach."
You don't age.
He's awesome.
And he's not adopted the athletic wear on the sideline as most basketball coaches, because he's still dressing like it's 2009. However, if I'm not mistaken, the sweater's not red right now. It's black, and it's usually red as a
well, last year it was black when he was here. So
Okay.
maybe the red one went with retirement, and this is the new era of Coach Bowen.
And I notice those things as a fellow sweater person myself.
I know. Your red vest was a winning streak vest, let me tell you.
Listen, the joke's been out for years. The vest was convenient that we were successful with. The main part about it was I don't know how to tie a tie. So,
well, since we're airing our dirty laundry, neither do I.
Yeah, so I would.
Which is just awful, but I don't feel so bad since you got a few years on me.
I would excel. I would excel in this era of quarter zips.
Oh, that's right. Anytime you folks see Evan in a tie on TV, it's been pre-tied and it hangs up that way.
Yep. I've got a couple of my good close friends are in administration and education, other workforces. Whenever there's a wedding or one I have no choice, give a call. Can you come by and tie a couple ties?
Hey, whatever works.
I'm 41, Ev. Here we go. We talk about it, going back to basketball. 7, 11, 7's different. Brockton with a couple transition layups right now.
That last one, Nasir Pereira, a really good take as he went sliding to the baseline. So, Brockton with 4 straight now, and it's up to Durfee to slow him down and get some points back. Souza wants another, and it's no good. Big stretch there. Good rebound from Whelan. He actually had some white jerseys down there with him. Guess what? It's a 5-point game.
Yeah, it's
Peltrop.
The double digits aren't what they used to be, but
no.
It's important. You can't get too excited when shots fall. You got to treat each possession as its own.
Brockton double teaming, pressing up this way, and now a tough foul there.
Yeah, Brockton's doing it too. That one right there was one that was, on the Brockton end for no reason right now.
Inbounding to Texera for 3. It's short. Sherry up the ladder. trying to get the rebound. It's picked by Brockton. Down the court. Wow. I was just going to say, you know, Matt Sherry, I thought he planted quick enough that maybe being offensive, but then he was moving and there was contact. Probably should have been a foul on him. Brockton thought so. No call either way. And now Durfee can try to run it out here and get the final shot of the third quarter.
Yeah, both teams playing way too excited right now. You know, the defensive, it's a little extra. It's not necessarily
5 seconds.
Good defense, it's extra.
That's a foul. That's going to be 3 shots for Texera.
Right on cue of what I was saying. I don't want to call it fake aggressive. That's the wrong way of saying it, but it's just too extra right there.
Yeah.
And with .4 on the clock, when you've had good momentum to close out the quarter, you beat Durfee in the closeout game for the third quarter, and you foul on not a good concussion. Both teams, if I'm a head coaches, we got to settle down significantly to start the fourth quarter.
And that's Whelan, who has not had any baskets this quarter. He had 11 points in the first half. That's his 4th foul. He was arguably their best shooter in the first half, and now in foul trouble going into the 4th.
Yeah, that's Brockton just playing too excited. You know, they kind of got themselves back in the game, 11 points down, bring it down to what did they have it down to, 5?
Yeah, now it's 7, and
that's just that's tough. That's kids playing hard, trying hard, but you know, as coaches, you got to kind of reel that in a little bit till it gets to this point.
Texera with 3 at the line.
Yeah, Durfee lucked
That's
out right
big,
there.
right?
That's
Yeah,
big free throws by Alvin Texera. Good third quarter from him after spending most of his time on the bench in the first half.
Well, 8 points is better than 5, 3, as you said. Big points for, well, you know what, let's just, looking at the book, you can see multiple guys. Stevenson in that quarter, they did shut him down. No points, but you got guys to pick up the slack. Ben Sherry got his 3. Jaden Souza.
Yeah, there was more chip-ins in the third quarter. Brockton, they're starting to face guard Stevenson.
Yeah.
They're gonna really try to disrupt, you know, his airspace. Try not to get him get in the lane. You know, other guys are starting to get some things right now. So again, I think their game plan is they're trying to make other guys beat them.
So Ben Sherry got his 3. Jaden Souza, a big 3. Matt Sherry had 2 baskets. And Texera with 2 baskets and 1, and then the 3 in a row there at the line. So that's what we've been talking about in the first half. It's great. Stevenson set the bar high. Now they're containing him, and other guys are stepping up. And that's what it's going to take to hold off Brockton here the final 8 minutes.
Yeah, it's a good sign for Durfee. I'm happy for the kids. They shooting the ball with confidence. You know, it's tough in this day and age. You don't see shots fall through the hoop. You know, your mind starts playing tricks on you. You're not confidence level's not there. You know, Durfee. You know, these guys are athletes right here. All 5 of them on the floor are athletes. They've played in big games, so a tough half shooting is nothing to these guys. You know, they just grind it out, find other ways.
Each quarter, Durfee's gotten stronger. 9 in the first, 16 in the second, 18 here in the third. They lead by 8.
It's a good run by Durfee, but kind of a bailout.
That'll be on Matt Sherry, his 3rd.
Durfee would be in their best interest for a nice clean start to the quarter. Brockton with a nice little slip for a basket.
Africo with 2. He's up to 13.
Yeah, we talked about this at the beginning. Durfee, Brockton. You know, it's going to be a good game. Here we are. We're on pace for grinded out fourth quarter.
Oh, that was tipped. That should be. Oh, I thought that went on off the defender. Apparently not. So Brockton will have it on the turnover.
Durfee showing a little backcourt pressure. I like the call, just making them think a little bit. Brockton does a good job of stretching it out on the press breaker, though. Once again, there's a lot of that air time.
Bad pass, or mishandled, I should say. It wasn't necessarily a terrible pass, but Stevenson gets back in the book. He's over 20, 21 points with that last basket.
Great finish off the tricky catch. Teixeira is going to pick up his 4th foul. Anytime you swing your arm, Alvin,
I know.
It's a guarantee at the high school level.
Durfee 2nd, and Teixeira's 4th.
Yeah, so now.
Oh, no, they call it on Ben Sherry. They did not give it to Alvin. So Sherry with his 3rd. That's actually good for Durfee.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm surprised.
Same situation, a very important player. With going to have to be aware of the fouls. Ben Sherry doesn't come off the floor.
No, you said that earlier. He's been out the whole game. So is Matt.
It is.
And so is Ja.
It's fortunate and unfortunate. You look at, people look at points for basketball, and if you had a good game, what was your points? How many points did you score? And it's not the case at all for basketball. And I'm an old guy now saying that. He doesn't come off the floor and plays an extremely important role doing everything else.
Yeah.
And it's really cool to see.
We talk about that pass in transition there to Stevenson breaking to the basket. That was spectacular. Nice rebound from Teixeira. Stevenson, full steam, looks right, takes it to the basket.
That's what we talked about. That is just, he creates so much space with that push dribble right there.
25 for number 5 and a 10-point lead. How about that 3 from Peltrap?
Yeah, Brockton's not going to go away.
No. Now Teixeira. Tough take. That will not fall. Will he stretch back and get it? No, but he tipped it away enough for Souza to get it and take the 3.
Yeah, too quick for my liking, but
yeah,
trying to make some things happen.
Peltrap wants another, and he's got it.
Yeah, and thus,
just like that, it's back to 6.
Yeah.
2 long balls for Peltrap, and it's a 4-point game. 6 straight points is what I meant to say, and a timeout for the Hilltoppers.
Yeah, Brockton's speeding things up a tad, forcing Durfee into quicker shots. Not bad shots. I'm just saying quicker shots, and knocking down 2 threes of their own. Right back at it.
20 seconds, the lead went from 10 to 4. That's how quick it can happen.
It's one of the things that I'm having a hard time with at all levels of basketball is how fast point differentiation can erase. Like, used to be you're up 20, game was over.
Yeah.
And teams are coming back, it seems like some scenarios, at different levels, they're coming back from down 20 once a quarter.
I know. It's really amazing when you think about it.
Tony Martin told me a long time ago 30 was the new 20. I don't know if 40 is the new 20 now.
We haven't seen that, but, we know there were some pretty crazy comebacks over the last couple years. You and I have seen that. Durfee fell short, but they were really in the hole through the first half, and then had a magical third that made you think, hey, they're in it now, and then they'd fall maybe by a basket or 2 in the 4th.
And it's happened to us on the other end as well.
Oh, yeah, totally. Durfee slowing it down here out of the timeout. Stevenson to Teixeira. Tough shot. There was contact. He wanted a foul, didn't get it.
Yeah, Brockton coming into the 4th quarter, despite the Stevenson buckets, I feel have kind of dictated the pace of play.
Open 3, that's no good. The putback is no good. Kept in and whipped at one of the Hilltoppers. So it'll go out of bounds.
Yeah, that was a heat check for Brockton right there. That would have hurt had that 3 fallen. Would have been 3 in a row. And here we are right now. You got to defend out of bounds under your basket. These are such crucial plays. You don't think of them as being super important, but defending these, huge. Now you got to do it from a side-out standpoint. That looked like it went off of Brockton's player. That was
thought so.
You know, but Durfee with a lot of emotion. There's minimal.
No, they're not.
So.
They're not
No,
arguing it.
no.
But it's from this side.
That looked really. Yeah, I thought that was almost a no-brainer, but it shows what we know right now.
Sarah with the rebound, Stevenson, and they're going to pressure. Open in the corner, Souza, no good. Teixeira and Sherry.
That's great.
And
muscle.
one.
And one. Exactly what I'm talking about. Ben Sherry doing the little things. That was a big boy rebound. Caught it under the basket just because of where he landed and was able to muscle in a much-needed bucket. +1.
Well, Annie was kind of fighting with Alvin for the ball. Like, I don't think they realized they were teammates fighting for the ball.
Yeah, that's the pickup game. Same team.
Yeah. Lambert, that was his first foul. The and one is no good. So it'll stay at 6. The set, and that's for 3.
Brockton getting hot right now.
Pereira.
3 of last 4 for Brockton possessions end in a 3 made.
A 9-2 run for the Boxers.
Yeah, Brockton up in the airspace in their man-to-man, but Josh Stevenson's so quick. He's still able to get into that painted area, extended painted area, get easier shots.
Whelan is fouled out. He had a great first half, 11 points, none in the second half, and he's picked up his 5th and final foul. So he'll take a seat for the remainder. Out to Jaden Souza, quickly to Stevenson. Stevenson will take it off the glass.
I understand what Brockton's doing. They were a little more successful when they were laying off. They're pressuring Stevenson. We talked about it. Face guard up in his airspace, but he's getting to the rim at will right now. And guys are making shots, forcing Brockton to not camp out under the basket.
It's a big miss there. That was another 3 put up. Brockton wants another timeout, and they will take it. 3:36 to go in what is shaping up to be a Big 3 classic here at the Luke Urban Fieldhouse.
Yeah, very impressive with Brockton. You know, it's unfair to come in and look at records. You know, and especially in this day and age of power rankings and not independent schedules, but non-traditional schedules.
Right.
You know, you don't know who other teams are playing right now. We talked about at the beginning. Brockton's played some very good basketball teams. And listen, Durfee too. Hingham, Somerset, Berkeley, and I got cut off when we were talking about it before.
Yeah.
Nice to beat your rivals from across the river. Somerset's one of the best teams in the state.
Yeah. I mean, they're a lower division, but they give us fits every year.
Division 2. It's one below.
Yeah.
And they are coming back. You know, they're a Final Four team. You talk about quality wins.
Right.
That was a very quality win. And it's the only time we're playing them this year, just
right.
You know, because schedules are non-traditional now. But Somerset's one of the best teams in the state, not one of the best teams in the area.
No, in the state.
And that was a very quality win. So you can't look at records when teams come in now because it's I don't know. It's not how it used to be where you can look at schedules, you know, common opponents, you know.
It doesn't get easier for Durfee. They got to wait now till Monday to play their next game. So another long break after tonight. They got Dartmouth coming in. And then they'll go to New Bedford next Friday. So schedule doesn't get easier, that's for sure.
But the good news is, you know, you get by this break and, you know, you're going to stop playing the 2, and then there's going to be makeups that need to happen. So you get hot. You know, these kids want to play.
Of course.
You know, so I've never, you know, some ADs and big shot by Stevenson. Huge 3. Durfee, great job taking a little clock off. Some ADs and administrators ask, well, do you mind playing 3 in a week? That never bothered me as a coach. You know, I always thought when you got hot, you wanted to play as much as you can.
Thrown back in. Brockton almost had possession. Now Stevenson will take it to the house for 2 more. 32 points for Stevenson.
Texera with it. Here we are right now. The football guys picking off passes right now.
13 points in the 4th for Stevenson. The lead is 10. So take him out of the equation, and Durfee's down by 3.
Yeah, but this is
crazy.
You know, I used to have a saying, you know, sometimes, I don't know if it's a right saying, but nobody cares what you did until you do it against Brockton and New Bedford right
That's
here.
right.
And this is playing big boy basketball against Brockton.
2 shots for Stevenson and a foul against Africo for the Boxers. Their third.
What's been great for going for 32 is he's distributed the ball very well, too. He's given guys opportunities. He's played very in control for the majority of the game. He's knocked down his free throws. Watched a lot of Josh Stevenson the last couple years. This is the best he's played by far. And I'm not just saying it for the 33 now.
No, I mean, this has been an incredible game against, you know, one of your 2 biggest opponents that you face all year. You know, you're talking about down the stretch, right? You know, Durfee obviously has not played a lot of games because of those cancellations, the long break, but they're playing well at the beginning of the year. You've done enough games now with me last few seasons where they've been a little more of a second-half team. Does that worry you in any way that they're going to peak too early? Because we've talked about that too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if I say I don't believe in that stuff, you know, and sitting on this side of the stands, it's much easier to say I don't believe in that type of stuff. I just think you got to go out there and play and continue to improve, and that's a standpoint these guys have, you know, there's been times, though, you start off and you hit whatever magic number you want, and then it's like mission accomplished, and then you leave things on the table. You just want to take it a day by day, try to get a little bit better day by day, push each other in practice. You know, they're going to have to be mentally tough in this stretch of, you know, they don't play till next Monday now.
Yeah, another big break.
You know,
I think the biggest thing, and I remember there was a game a couple of years ago, I want to say maybe 2 or 3 years ago, and Durfee put up like 100 points. I think it was against Boston Latin or something. They just went off. But no disrespect to Latin, they were not as formidable of an opponent as Brockton is, for example, here. So I remember Coach DeCruz saying, you know, it's great you put 100 points up, but did that help us, or is that going to get in our heads? We can steamroll over anybody. So there's that aspect of it too.
Well, the good news is they're 4 wins. Well, excuse me. We got a minute and a half to go.
Free ball is no good.
That stuff I believe in. Talking too early, but their 3 wins prior, they had to execute and grind out. And it wasn't always pretty, but they got it done.
Right.
Those are the things they're really going to have to get better on, you know, as the season goes.
Well, you and I talked before we did the girls' game, the Tiverton game, to open their home schedule before the holiday break, and we said that we really weren't quite sure what to expect from either team because of how many players that they graduated last year. And, I mean, it's a valid question. I mean, we know that there was some talent there. That's not the issue. But so many key guys and gals on both sides for Durfee that you say, who's going to fill those voids? And the girls have gotten off to a good start. Boys are off to a great start. And we're seeing contributions that are pretty significant.
Well, that's having a program.
Yeah.
You know, other aspects. So that's the difference between having a team and a program. And when you have a program, guys naturally move up to, you know, different roles each year. You know, Alvin Texera was a guy that came off the bench last year. He played a good role, played last year. Now he's a starter asked upon to play different as a scorer. You know, guys that played on the JVs a year ago, different roles on the JV. Now they're on the varsity. They're asked for different roles. So the difference between that is teams and programs. You're seeing that on the girls' side.
The girls.
Jada Martino.
Yeah.
JV player a year ago. She's the MVP of the Skip Carom tournament on the girls' side.
Right.
So that's a program.
Under a minute, and David LaRue getting some minutes here. The 0-0.
10-second violation for Durfee.
Yeah, that was a good press from Brockton. Absolutely.
Yeah, saying how it was before. 10's not like it used to be.
But
technical foul, third one on Brockton.
Wow.
And this is stuff right now. This has to be closed out in 43 seconds.
That's the second technical. If that's a tech, that's the second tech against O'Carey tonight. There's going to be some consequences there. Wow. 2 more shots. Speaking of the girls, 20-point winners on the road at Brockton, 47-27. So a clean sweep of the Boxers in the first game between these two schools this year, because the boys will be winning tonight as well.
Yeah, great way to start off Big 3 season. You know, this is our first year back. You and I, we did SEC era.
Yeah.
We misspoke quite often calling it Big 3 games when it was Big 3. On the volleyball side, for me, I always called it Big 3.
Oh, yeah.
Dartmouth, Bridgewater, Raynham didn't have volleyball teams on the boys, but
that's right.
You know, it's a different era of Big 3, but you and I, it's all we've had in our lifetime, so it's cool, you know, to start off the new basketball season with the Big 3, Durfee on top.
That's no good. And out of bounds, Durfee ball with 17.1. Actually heard from Tom Tarpey in New Bedford, their athletic director. I asked him for his rosters today, so he got back to me, and then he asked me later, he says, hey, you guys doing Brockton tonight? And, you know, obviously the Big 3 games get clustered in the same part of the season, so I'm sure the New Bedford guys are watching this one, scouting, getting ready for Brockton. 3 will count for Forts, his first and only of the night. But Durfee wins it, 13-point differential, 66-53, and the Hilltoppers are now 4-1.
Hey, if you asked anybody coaching way, the quarter mark of the season, 4-1, you sign up for that.
Yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
and that is a great start. It's just important if Durfee can continue to push each other every day, get a little bit, you know. Here's what I would say, is millions of teams across the country have started 4-1. It's a great accomplishment. Now we're next. Now we're on to Game 6, and that's the way you got to look at it. So, great home win. Josh Stevenson, 35.
35 points for Stevenson, had more than half his team's total. And as I said, that they got stronger as the night went on. They finished with a 23-point fourth quarter. Now, Durfee gave up 18 in the fourth as well. That was their most that they allowed. But to put up 20 or more in a quarter in high school hoops in an 8-minute quarter, that's always like a marker we'll look at too. So, wow, that's a lot of points in 8 minutes. 23 to close out the game. 66-53.
Yeah.
I like it.
Brockton shot the ball well in the fourth quarter. Kudos to them. You know, for us, Brockton getting back on track. Not tonight. So, you know, we're on to the next one. So that's a fantastic win for Durfee. Anytime you beat Brockton, whatever the year, whatever the era, fantastic. You know, Coach DeCruz got a lot to be proud of with those guys.
It's great to be back on the air after our holiday break. We have one more live sporting event coverage this weekend. Saturday night, 7 o'clock, we'll drop the puck at Driscoll. Diamond hosting Upper Cape Cod Tech, the Rams. We usually cover this game. It's usually a pretty good matchup. They're coming into town, so we got the late game, 7 o'clock on Saturday, as long as we don't have any weather. I know there's some possible grumblings of some snow. We'll see what happens, but I'll believe it when I see it. And then next Friday, the 17th, back here at the Fieldhouse, Girls Hoops hosting New Bedford. That's what we have live coming up over the next week and a half, and we hope that you will join us. For our camera crew and our production crew tonight, David Montero running camera, Daniel Keating working the scoreboard and the production, my broadcast partner, Brendan Kelly. I'm Evan Massoud. Thanks for tuning in. Happy New Year, and we will see you Saturday for ice hockey from Driscoll.